Hello everyone, I'm Shen Li, a research associate from Imperial College. Today I will talk about the cell type design and the cooling strategy for cylindrical cell with you. As we know, temperature plays an important role on cell performance. Maintaining the average temperature at appropriate level would maximize the cell performance. Meanwhile, the non-uniformity of temperature could accelerate the degradation by about 3 times. From the perspective of modeling, we need a distributed model to describe the temperature inhomogeneity within the cell. We constructed this equivalent circuit model, or called ECN model. It is a 3D electrical and thermal fully coupled model. It considers the different components of current collectors and electrode pairs, and also internal structures such as the tap and metal can. Until now, it is one of the most comprehensive cell-level ECN model. To validate the model, in-cell thermal sensor technique was implemented to detect the internal temperature of the cell. The additional thermocouple was inserted into the core area without causing change to the cell capacity and resistance. With the internal thermocouple instrumented in the LGM50 cell, the heat transfer model was validated at first. In these validation tests, no current was applied. The instrumented LGM50 cells were subject to rapid temperature changes from 25 to 45 degrees and from 45 to 35 degrees. The thermal responses of the core area of the cell was monitored. From these plots, we can see the simulation results are in good agreement with experimental results. Later, the electrothermal model was validated against constant current and pulse discharge tests. Still, the simulation results match the experimental measurement of voltage and core temperature. The performance of distributed electrical and thermal model was compared with lump model case. Here, the lump model is the simplification of the distributed model with only one electrical and one thermal unit. From the results, we can see that the lump model overestimates the voltage and underestimates the average temperature during this 1C discharge test. This is due to the reason that lump model is not able to capture the inhomogeneities within the cell. Although the lump model is frequently preferred in engineering due to its simplicity and speed, for high accuracy, the distributed model should be considered. With the validated model, we performed case studies. Cooling strategy has a direct effect on the temperature and its inhomogeneity. We tried conductive and convective cooling on different cooling areas. They include side surface and top base surface. From the simulation results of 1C discharge, we see conductive cooling is the best at maintaining average temperature level, but causing higher temperature standard deviation or inhomogeneity. Top-based convective cooling minimizes the temperature inhomogeneity, but the temperature rise is high as this is the near adiabatic condition, so top-based convection cooling scheme should not be preferred. When we look into the reason why temperature under those cooling schemes is different, we compare the thermal conductivities in different directions. We know that current collector has much larger thermal conductivity than the electrodes, and makes the thermal properties of jelly roll anisotropic. The thermal conductivity along the H-roll direction is one order higher than radial direction. So cooling on the side surface will generate thermal gradient. Apart from cooling strategy, type design also affects the temperature distribution as it regulates the current pathway. The tap position can move the hotspot position. The number of taps can make the heat generation more evenly distributed. Here are the results of the different type design under the same thermal boundary condition. The top row shows the temperature distribution at the very start of the discharge. We can see the single-type design initiates the more obvious temperature inhomogeneity than other designs with more types. The bottom row shows the temperature during the whole discharge process. As we can see, the all-type design could lower down the average temperature by about 20% and can significantly reduce the temperature inhomogeneity as well. When we compare the two type designs, we can see in all-type design, the temperature is more evenly distributed due to the evenly heat generation that is regulated by the multi-tap. And there is a positive feedback between temperature and current density. That is to say, where the temperature is high, the current density is large, and in turn, the large current density causes high temperature. Therefore, according to this mechanism, as time evolves, the temperature inhomogeneity in single-type design will be magnified. In real applications, both factors of cooling strategy and type design take effect. We define the index to judge the temperature average and temperature inhomogeneity under the combinations of the two factors. In this red plot, we want to minimize the index, so the bottom left area is the best location. We can see from this plot that the multi-type design is always better than its single-type counterpart. There is a trade-off between choices of less average temperature and less temperature inhomogeneity. The research findings above could lead to the redesign of the cells with better performances. Tesla has released a patent of fabricating cells in production. In our model, this is a case of all-type design. We can see that Tesla's new cell potentially breaks the bottleneck of the trade-off between the choices of common cylindrical cell. In summary, for this work, we developed a distributed cell-level model. Case studies on type design and cooling strategies were conducted. More type design and side conductive cooling is preferred for the LG M50 cell used in this study. The results benefit from one of the advantages of this model, that is, to consider the detailed internal structure of the cylindrical cell. Thanks everyone for your attention. I will wait for you at the Q&A session.